All right, shalom, 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 Israel. Before we go any further within this lesson, I'm going to start it off by giving all the praises, infinite glory, infinite blessings, and honor unto our powers, which is Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the elder bishops and to the elder apostles, the great millstone, that rule well and that teach well. Blessings and salutations to the whole for the elect, to the Akim, while Aquaf that are tuning in. I'm the brother Tazayar from the company of prophets located out here in Tampa, Florida. As always, blessings and salutations, all right, to the believers and to the men that are laboring within this work and this truth, okay, teaching the true names of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, and the true doctrine of the Lord, all right, scattered across the four corners of the earth, wherever you may be. Yahweh Ba'ashem, Shai, Barakatham unto you, and to your households in these evil times, man. All right, and this is just a news break. We're just gonna call it a news break, man. Okay, update in war. Okay, update in biblical prophecy, man. All right, because as you read it on the screen right here, it says Putin issues new nuclear doctrine and warning to the West over Ukraine. All right, so this is serious, man. You hear them words, nuclear? Okay, especially dealing and concerning with America, aka Babylon the Great, where a lot of people, a lot of brothers and sisters, or even new watchers that's watching this video, that's where they reside, man. They reside here, bro. Okay, you reside on the West Coast, okay, in which this concerns you, man. This concerns really the whole world, man. All right, but it says the Russian defense minister claimed Tuesday that Ukraine had carried out its first strike on Russian territory using the U.S. supplied long-range missiles known as atoms. I don't know, man. All right, it says Russian President Vladimir Putin formally lowered the threshold for his country's use of nuclear weapons Tuesday, after the United States allowed Ukraine to strike inside the Russia using American missiles. All right, so the U.S. is allowing, all right, and aiding the Ukrainians in this war between Russia and the Ukraine. All right, and so things are heating up. All right, in which we understand these current events, these little things, which are really major, is going to lead to a worldwide, I wouldn't say worldwide, all right, but it's going to lead, to a very, worldwide event, man. World War III, all right. And what World War is when it consists of the whole world, all right, to where these nations, these kings and these rulers, all right, prepare for war, which is written about in the book of Joel. Okay, I think also the book of Zephaniah. All right, so this is all biblical prophecy, man. We know these things. All right, it says the Kremlin announced that Putin had approved an updated nuclear doctrine, a document that governs how Russia uses its nuclear arsenal. Okay, including the declaration that Moscow could unleash a nuclear strike if subject to an attack by a non-nuclear country that has the support of a nuclear of a nuclear state. And basically what you're seeing is Russia's not playing. Okay, Putin is not playing. All right, so even though they were hit by a Russia was hit by the Ukrainians, even though they might not have a nuclear arsenal themselves, it was stated within the updated nuclear doctrine that basically if Ukraine is messing with, an ally with those who are capable of nuclear destruction, that have these missiles, that Russia is going to take the the perfect measures to, so to say, and they're going to take it as, a threat, man, in which, this is how he's seeing it, man. It's just gonna escalate. It says the Russian Defense Ministry said Ukraine had carried out its first strike on Russian territory using U.S. supplied long-range weapons. So not using their own weapons, all right, by using the U.S. weapons, the United States, hitting a military facility in a Bryansk region with a ATACMS missile. Russian air defense shot down 5 of them missiles, but fragments of another fell on the technical territory of a military facility in the Bryansk region, causing a fire that was quickly extinguished. There were no casualties or damage, it said in a statement. According to the confirmed data, the deployed ATACMS, I don't know, operational tactical missiles were American made, it said. All right, man. So there you got it. Let's get these scriptures, man. All right. Going straight into it. 2 Edges 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. All right, and we're seeing signs. We're seeing things that's going on around the world, okay? We're seeing, all right, things which is allowing us to understand, all right, this is what's going to happen before the Lord makes his return. This is supposed to happen before this prophecy comes to pass. All right. And basically, this is all it is, man. All right. The life you're living, the life we're living, it's all been written about. It's all played out. Okay. Counted as biblical prophecy, man. All right. World War III, which would take place, is known to be biblical prophecy, man. Why do you think that all these things are going on between these other nations? Why Russia, all right, is joining forces with Africa, China? Why is BRICS being established? All right, it's all to forward the will of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, man. All right. Verse 2 says, then shall thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. All right, and he's visiting this world. And soon, they're going to feel the presence of the Lord through his judgments. All right, through the things which he said he was going to bring to this earth. All right. Verse 3 says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes in the words of the people in the world, in which we're currently seeing, there's man. It's like beating a dead horse, because it's plain and it's evident. It's in front of your face. It's there, man. Earthquakes. Cuba just had a huge ass earthquake, like 6.7, 0.8. All right, right after having a damn tornado. Before the tornado came, they had a blackout, man. And that's just the most recent one I know. All right, because there's constantly earthquakes, tornadoes, whirlwinds, things that's happening around the world constantly every day. This very moment, because there's an earthquake going on right now somewhere. All right, because it's the Lord, it's Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai visiting this place, bro. It tells you how the people are going to be visited. Or the Lord visits, the world through the whirlwinds, through the earthquakes, the tornadoes. All right. It's all signs, man, from the Creator. Verse 4, then shall thou well understand. You're going to understand, you're going to know that the Most High which is Yahweh, spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. All right, because this what's going on right now has already been spoken about, man. All right, and it's coming to pass. And what is this showing you? What is this? What is this showing you? What is the purpose of all these things? Verse 5 says, "For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end." All right, like the human life, you have a beginning when you was born, and you have an ending. All right, to where you're not gonna be here no more. Just an example. And it says, "In the end is manifest." So the end is manifest, man. Okay, the end of the bullshit that goes on in this world, man. The end of this current life as we know it. Okay, it's manifesting. All right. And how is that going to play out? It's going to play out in this very catastrophic event, man. So let's get it. Matthew chapter 11 and verse 14. Actually, let's start at verse not 14. I'm tweaking, man. Revelations 11 and verse 14. What was I thinking about? The second woe is past. And that second woe is referring to World War III, which is biblical prophecy, man. Okay, it was written about for that war to come to pass, man. In which that concerned, these world leaders to go to war. All right, and when world war happens, this affects everyone, bro, especially the one that's about to come now. Because right now, these are the beginning stages of the war. Okay, but there's a build up to it, in which is going to lead to a large destruction. All right, to where America, aka Babylon the Great, will be destroyed, completely destroyed by thermonuclear fires, by thermonuclear missiles, man. So it says the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. That third woe is talking about World War III, to where all these leaders, these world leaders, these kings of these other nations are getting ready and they're preparing for this war. All right, because this is what Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai wants. This is the will of the Lord, man. And so these little signs, these little back and forth disagreements, these little treaties, these little things like this, we just read about, it's just forwarding the will of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, man. Okay. So let's get let's just get what is that? Isaiah chapter 9 verse 5. Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. All right, because the way that battle would be done, would be fought, wars would be fought back then was, men on the ground, with swords. They would use axes, mace. Okay, arrows, things of that sort. And that was the old way, an ancient way of, fighting wars, having battles, where people would go to a battlefield, with one force against another force, and they would go at it, man, to see who's the last one standing, That's how wars were fought back then. That's why it says, for every battle of the warriors with confused noise, because on the battlefield, all you're hearing battle cries, you know, screams, loud noise, the clanking of the swords, you know, etc. And it says, in garments rolled in blood. You know, it would get down and dirty, man. Okay, covered in blood. But it says, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. And it's talking about this war, all right? World War III, man. It's inevitable, bro. And this one's not gonna be fought with no swords, man. Okay, not the ancient swords, you know, the double-sided swords and the staffs. You know, it's not gonna be fought like that. World War III is gonna be fought with missiles, man, with rockets. You see how, like, where is it at, man? Where is it at? All right. You see how Russia was just hit. Actually, let me see if I can find it right here. Russia was hit with rockets, man. So how you see how these current wars are being fought between Russia and Ukraine? This is how the wars is gonna be fought right now, man. That's how World War III is gonna be fought. It says Ukraine fired several U.S.-made longer range missiles into Russia for the first time. All right. Ukraine fired U.S.-made longer range missiles into Russia for the first time, man. It says the attack comes just 2 days after the Biden administration gave Kyiv the green light to use a longer range American weapons against targets inside Russia. All right. And that's what it's talking about, man. When it says, but this shall be with burning and full of fire. All right. Because, you know, it's going into that technology that's being used. These rockets and that ultimate weapon. All right. Which would be, you know, the ultimate sword, the modern day sword. You know, that ultimate sword is going to be thermonuclear missiles, man, because it's going to get to that point. All right. So let's get bear with me for a second. Let me see. Zephaniah. Let's get it. This is the will of the Lord, man. Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. All right, for the prey. All right, it says, for my determination is to gather the nations that I may assemble the kingdoms. So the Lord wants to gather the rest of these nations, Russia, China, Iran, Ukraine, Japan, Hungary, Turkey, you name it. Okay, if they have a military defense, if they have a military, all right, the Lord wants them out there on that field. He wants to gather them together. That's why it says, for my determination is to gather the nations, to gather them all together, that I may assemble the kingdoms. All right, in which these other nations are their own separate kingdoms. They have kings, which are the rulers, the presidents, in which today America is a kingdom as well. All right, so you have one man in charge of, you know, the military and say so of the country. All right, And that person would be that king today. So the modern day president would be a king. All right, and the rest of these leaders, that foresee over, their nations. But it says to pour upon them my indignation. So he wants to bring them together so that he may pour upon them his righteous anger, because that's what indignation means. It says, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. All right, the Lord is mad, man. Okay, and his will is to judge these other kingdoms, these other nations, okay, in their military. All right, in which this is all going to take place in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, man. Okay, where's a valley over there in the Middle East, which the Lord calls the valley of judgment. Okay, and so actually, let's get, where's it at? Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. And I just want to say, tensions is happening between China, Taiwan, Ukraine, Russia, Iran, Israel. All these things are happening, and they're all amping up for these very moments, okay? For the Lord's will to be done. All right, and I keep saying it because it's the will of the Lord. This is what the Lord wants. All right. So Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, and the Gentiles would be the rest of these nations. Okay, which were the heathen nations. All right. Prepare war. All right. The Lord wants to see war. Okay. As a power being the man of war, he wants to see war. So he's telling them to prepare for it. Prepare for war. Prepare for World War III. Get ready, man. Wake up the mighty men. So these warrior nations, these nations which were known to be fierce, maybe right now or even back then, known for having for being like that in war. All right, which a great example is Russia. Okay, Russia was known for its military might. Okay, it's hard. It's hard. It's fierceness, man. Okay, they're called the bear for a reason, man, because the bear is very fierce and powerful. It says, "Let all the men of war draw near; let them come up." All right, and that's what the Lord is doing. He's drawing the rest of these nations to be involved within these little wars. Okay, these little proxy wars that are going on. The rest of these nations are picking sides. All right, and they're getting ready for war, in which they're all going to be involved within this. Verse 10 says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. All right, plowshares, okay, and pruning hooks are tools which are used to cultivate the land. All right, in which a lot of these nations, okay, are these nations are suppliers. Okay, in which America, Babylon and Greece gets their goods from, China, Taiwan, all over the place, man. Right, but the Lord's basically putting a spirit on them to where they're focusing solely on war. They're focusing on, training, getting them and their military ready, making sure their defenses are getting ready. All right. So they're not worried about the crops. They're not worried about, the rest of those things. They're ready. They're getting ready, and they're worried about war. All right, because they understand that war is about to come. All right, the only people that don't is these fucking Babylonians, these Americans. All right, because they're under a delusion. They can't see. They're too busy on the bread and circus. But these other nations are preparing, man. They're training their children up, their women, taking nuclear scenario drills, preparing for these things and the possibilities of what would happen when war is being declared. You think these Americans are ready for what's to come? You think they're watching this, preparing, for a war on the territory of America? No, they're not ready for it. They're not preparing. You think they're getting ready for a nuclear um contact, in which in that situation, there's not really much you can do. You're through. But the whole point is these nations are preparing. They're getting ready, bro. All right, the Lord is making sure that these other nations have all that they need so they can fight in this war, man, so that he can punish them. All right. So it says, let the weak, I'm going to read it one more time. Joel 3:10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So these lesser nations, all right, which was known to not be able to, defend themselves. All right. They may have been lacking within, having that military might, having, these weapons of destructions, which, are known as the thermonuclear missiles, having, these type of advanced missile defense systems and these things. All right. But now they are being supplied by Russia, man. All right. By God, okay, because they're known in the scriptures. Russia is known as God, Magog. All right. So Russia is going around making sure that they have all that they need. All right, because the Lord wants all of them, man. He wants them all. All right. So it says, let the weak say, I am strong. All right, Iran, because now Iran, they got missiles, man. They got rockets. They got weapons of mass destruction. A couple decades back, Iran, you look at that land over there, it's just, it's messed up. Because Babylon went over there and, they stepped all on that land, bro. But now they're not a pushover no more. All right, because they've been aided. And now they got, weapons to defend themselves. And that's that, let the weak say I am strong. That's the victim, standing up for himself, man. Not just Iran, but the rest of these nations that were weaker. Venezuela, Cuba, Africa, etc. Verse 11 says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. Listen, man. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. So the Lord wants all them heathens to gather up together. All right. And gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. All right. So the Lord's going to cause these other nations to come down so that they may have war. All right. So they can go at it. In which really the thought process of them doing it is that they may see, who's the last one standing, who's the next to rule. And that's why it says, why does the heathen going into these other nations, why do they rage and imagine a vain thing? All right. Bear with me for a second, Akim. So let's get it. Psalms chapter 2 and verse 1. Psalms 2 and 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Yeah, why everyone in an uproar? Okay, why is everyone, licking their palms and, biting their teeth, man? Right? Because they think that they're next up to rule. They think that they're going to have world dominance after this world war is being fought, in which that's not going to happen. But this is the thought process of these kings, of these other kingdoms, of these other nations, that they will stand, okay, after America is being taken out of power. All right, because these dogs can see that this woman has a sword. It tells you how America would be healed if the Lord wanted to. But the Lord does not want this place to be healed. It says, take balm for her pain. We would have healed her, but she cannot be healed, man. All right, America is a dying dog. All right, with sores and then very incurable. Okay, it's a sick dog. And basically, the rest of those dogs going into these nations, they can see it. All right, they're plotting on the downfall of this place. All right, they want next in seat to be alpha, but the Lord is not going to allow that. So Psalms 2 and 1, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? It's a vain thought to think that you're next in rulership, when Yahweh Shai, okay, the King of righteousness, has next. Verse 2, the kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together. NATO, okay, EU, the BRICS, they all sit amongst each other, okay, and they talk about world dominance, how they can become next in power, how can they be the next ones to rule, against the Lord Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. All right, and that is the thought process of these people, man. All right, they're trying to fight against the Lord, but you can't fight against the Lord, dude. All right, and they're going to understand that coming very, very soon. All right, because it tells you, verse 4, which is one of my favorite precepts, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. Yahweh Bashim Yahshua gonna laugh at him. Okay, the Lord Yahweh shall have them in derision. Okay, he's gonna have them in derision when he sets them down to that valley. All right, ready to be slain. All right, because they think they're going to war to see who's next in charge. You're going over there to be slayed. Okay, by the only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. All right, so the Lord's gonna laugh at him. I laugh at you, man. Because they're silly. Lord looking at them like they're silly. All right. So let's go back to Joel 3. Where was we at? So Joel 3 and 12. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, which in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shaphat, which means the Lord's judgment. All right. It's a valley. Okay, a place where these people will do war. These other nations are going to do war. All right, they're going to gather their armies, their great might, their military might, their forces to fight against one another. All right, in which that's a place where the Lord is going to judge them. It says to their, Salakia, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. He's going to judge them, man. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. All right, which is another tool to cultivate the land, to grow. Uh, but a sickle is used to when the harvest is ripe, when it's time to pluck up. All right, so the Lord is going to cut these people off. He's going to cut these nations off. Basically, he's going to destroy them. All right, he's saying, put ye in a sickle for the harvest is ripe, meaning this is the time of their judgment. All right, brought you out here, thinking that, you're doing this on your own will, but I brought you out here just to destroy you and exalt my name in the world once again. It says, come get ye down, for the press is full. All right, the fast overflow, for the wickedness is great. All right, they're going to be used as sacrifices, man. All right. Verse 14, multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. Okay. Lord's going to destroy these people, man. All right. Completely absolutely obliterate. All right. All right. Especially America's going to be in the midst of this war. The rest of these people, all right, the rest of these nations, and the Lord's going to get rid of them, bro. But yeah, seeing all these things going on, all right, tensions are going to continue to increase between Ukraine, Russia. That war is going to continue, to escalate to where you see the rest of these nations, all right, join in, all right. But really, this was just a quick World War III update. Showing you what's going on, man. All right. Meaning, pay attention. Stay lively, man. All right, because war is coming. All right, and the missiles, man, they will be used. But Lord, when I said was edifying. In closing, we give all praises, honor, and glory for the blessing too. Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Kudash. So I'm going to say Shalom and Abba, Shalom.